Hi everybody, it's Jaime Lyerly. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to see if I can share this real quick. I decided to do this topic this morning mostly because of the fact that I didn't want to do it. And you know me, I'm someone who adores doing stuff that is uncomfortable. So I'm just going to see if I can share this. Maybe. And if you are here and want to share this, feel free. I would love to be able to have this particular conversation have a lot of people involved. So, all right, I'm going to share it just with my little group here. Awesome. How's it getting better? Okay, so thank you. So, yeah, fear of being seen. This was a requested topic by one of my friends on Facebook. That when I was asking people what kind of topics they like to get cleared, kind of what are all the blocks and all places, because right now tomorrow starts class, and I'll tell you a little bit about my class here. It's not tomorrow, it's on Monday. So my class starts on Monday, called Clearing Your Core Blocks in 40 Days, which is a deep dive intensive class that's done in 20-minute chunks, so that every day we show up and do a clearing like this. Now, since it's Saturday, and I love me some Saturday time, I like to provide a little bit more spaciousness on Saturday, so I'll try to be as quick as possible, but this one might go a little longer than 20 minutes, so just, if you're popping on now or you're popping on watching later, again, these are really tuned for people that watch them to really be connected in no matter what time you actually watch this. But it's, we might go a little longer because this is a big topic, and I'd love to be able to just be like, oh, we're just going to do a clearing, then you'll be done with this, and you'll be able to see and be big, huge around the world. I just want to say this is a topic that I am very passionate about, and also it's a place that I feel like I've made a little bit of movement, and the fact that I'm doing these Facebook Lives has shown you maybe, there's a lot of movement in comparison to where I was. But it's a place where mostly when I think about clearing the blocks to being seen in the world, I always think there's people that are much better at this, like, ones I would refer to, Melissa Seaman. She does amazing clearings, Corey Michelle, Catherine McIntosh. Corey Michelle and Catherine McIntosh are both access consciousness clearers, and Melissa does more of a shamanic perspective. Those are my people that I see that have got this whole the fear of being seen thing down. Now, I personally don't, but why should you listen to me? Because I'm in it. I'm in it with you, and I'm doing it anyway. So that's why we're going to do what we can here. We're going to move some stuff around and move some energy. And again, I want to kind of preface this because I've had a little bit of backlash by being seen on Facebook by the fact that there are some people that are saying, whatever, that this isn't effective. And I just want to say, if it's effective, if that is something that you're willing to receive. If you're not willing to receive a clearing and allow the ease of movement, it's not going to be effective for you. And so again, come in with your own knowing if this is the type of method that can really be applied to your life. So yeah, I see Amanda's here. So hi Amanda, thanks for showing up here. Feel free, this is an interactive thing. It's not just going to be blabbing along here. So if you have anything along the way that you want to share or have questions, this is totally an interactive experience. Like, we're just hanging out on our couch on Saturday. I just happen to be on video during it, okay? Which again, I put on a tiny bit of makeup, but this is what I hang out in Saturday. I hang out on a t-shirt, no bra. I thought about just showing up to this thing totally naked because that's really what we're looking to go for, is that totally being seen naked, raw, and vulnerable. But I don't exactly sometimes know where the camera's at, and I don't want to be censored from Facebook by my glorious boobage here, so so I put a top on just for that. So we're gonna dive right in, and again, so what comes up for you guys, and feel free, like I said, to put it in the chat if you're here, even if you're not live, put it in the chat, like what comes up for you when you're talking about the fear of being seen. What is it about being seen that really stirs up so that that it makes it so big you can't do it? Okay. And I'm just going to kind of riff of what comes up for me and what I've heard from other people too, and the clients that I've worked with, which is really, what I see about fear of being seen. It really just comes back down to the underlying. It's not about being seen that's the issue. It's about being judged. It's about being judged, and usually being judged as not worthy or not, why, what are you doing? Why are you not the expert? Oh, you're not beautiful. Like whatever is your little thing around being judged, or your multiple things. It could be like fear of your, of being judged because of your body, because of your age, because of your money, because of your situation, because of, you're not perfect yet. And I just want to say, like, what's that mean? But it's, we can see them, and when we start to like name them and write them out, they start to take the charge off, because it almost makes it feel like it's ridiculous. But if it's because of the fact that we're not talking about this, we're not really saying it, and you're having tons of people in the world. There's like a bajillion coaches out there who are visibility coaches, who are going to teach you how to be seen. They're going to teach you how to walk in the world and give your message and split it all over the place, and like, that's great. It's awesome. And what if all you want is to be able to walk out the door without your makeup on, or do a Facebook Live for your friends or something, or have something where you're being seen more in your business so that people can actually pay you, find you and pay you, or being seen enough to be able to have a relationship or the sex that you want, and that kind of stuff. I see the kind of doing a weird thing with the comments here. I see your comment, Amanda. Yeah, it's like those places that like, it might not have to be this big, expansive, I want to be seen by millions of people. Maybe it is. If that's your big dream, awesome. Let's get that out there. But what if it is something just a little bit smaller, and yet for some reason you can't seem to pop that bubble? That's what we're here to work with today. So, and Amanda says, for me, it's the rejection, feeling like people look at me like I'm a freak. I've gotten that my whole life, and I think I might be working into the fact that I'm kind of a freak. So it's kind of, I'm six for that again, Amanda. I totally see you in that spot, but I just want to say that, like, what if that's not a bad thing? And it's also where, like, again, I'm going to use my story about the fact that I'm 6'2", okay, and you've met me too, but like, I'm big energy. You can't not see me. And yet I'm good at cloaking my energy. If I don't want to be seen in a room, I will put like a blanket of energy pocket over me. You won't even see me at all. And then people will be like, oh, you were there? But yep, I was, but I was hiding behind a little cloak. So I wonder if that's something that you do. And rejection, that's a really big one. We're going to make sure to clear that, Amanda, so thank you for putting that one into the field, because that is a big one. And really, like, when I think rejection too, when you're being authentic, when you're being yourself, or when you're like stepping out to something that's a little bit more, you being you, but you're not comfortable yet being that, and then someone judges you or rejects you, it's almost like you have this, I find in general, I have this cutting off energy of like I tried to be me, and all of a sudden someone, judges me, like, and rejects me for who I'm being in the world. Like, it's like I'm being more me, and they find that to be, awful or wrong, or, whatever the flavor of it, especially like sexual rejection or rejection as a business, or just when people are just turned off by you. And I get it. I'm a polarizing figure. I'm someone who had that for a long time. People are either drawn to me, for one or two reasons. It's usually like, it's either they drawn to me because they love my energy and they love what I'm giving out to the world, or they're drawn to me because they hate it. They just don't like it. They want to stop it. They want to stop my energy. They want to stop me from being who I'm being in the world. And that's happens. It happens a lot. So yeah, feel free to add more into that if there's any more things that are coming up. And then, like, again, we're going to drop into the actual clearing in just a minute, but I kind of want to stir some of the energy up before we step into the clearing. So, And the next thing too, I want to just note the fact of like, and again, we're going to do this in the clearing the clearing session too, as much as we can get to on this kind of free video together, about clearing past life stuff, which is basically that unknown fears and those fears that come from the fear of being seen, but they don't even have like a real world connection in this lifetime. Or like something that happens where you're like, okay, this person rejected me, but it felt like the intensity of, my father, my ex-boyfriend, and like, all of the rejections all together at one, start to feel it. So it's like, so when the rejection hits, it's not like just a bing, that was a rejection, one little comment from someone. It's like, pow, rejection, and then it hits you like, oh, if you're sensitive like me, it hits you in the stomach. And it's like, oh my gosh, what just happened there? And that, to me, I've noticed often more times than not, that's like kind of a past life kind of connection. And if you don't believe past life, that's fine. I just mean like that it's a thread that's been working through your whole life. And you've probably drawn a lot of men, a lot of women, a lot of people that have that similar thread. And so when that thread goes throughout your life, sometimes it has a little bit of a connection where you kind of came in with that energy. You came in with that place as like a little, it's almost like a little bullseye. I always see it like that. Like there's like a little bullseye on my heart that you can reject me, bing, and it just, and it taps into like all the way back. So we're going to do some clearing that too. And then the other little piece I see about the fear of being seen that we're going to take and clear too is really what I see too is the fact that the little things that hurt, that make you not want to be seen, that you want to shut down your energy, are the worst judgments and projections that you have. Yeah, definitely can do that past stuff. So yes. I'm sorry, I interrupted myself, but the worst judgments and projections that you have of yourself, the stuff that you judge for you, and the places that are really like crunchy in you, that you're trying to kind of put out there into the world, there's a place where sometimes we project all of our worst thoughts, feelings, emotions, like the most ouchy things, into the heads of the people around us, especially our loved ones. Like if you have a husband or a kid or a business partner or someone that you're super close to, we tend to, in general, like again, this is kind of a generalization, but I know for myself this is true. We tend to project our worst thoughts, feelings, and emotions into their head to let them reflect back at us. And sometimes they don't even understand the gravity of what came out of their mouth because it wasn't even their thought, it was yours. And I have an example of that too, is one of my friends, had this argument with her husband around, he like reflected back, I don't like your belly. And it was just like a devastating hit for her, because of the fact that she doesn't like her belly, he doesn't like his belly, so his judgments, her judgment together, and he just basically fed her the one thing that was going to take her energy system out. And like, as much as his energy was on it, it was more like she just fed him all the projections that she wants him to basically throw back out so she can feel like shit again. And that's, again, it's a great example. And it's also something I do. I do that all the time as well. And so if you are doing that, know that that is fairly common for us very sensitive psychic beings to do that with other people. And we're going to clear that too. Okay. So anything else, if you have on there, Amanda, feel free to add. Anyone else that wants to add into the energy of it. And we're just going to start the clearing. I just wanted to kind of bring up all the energy that we're going to go into. So, and then we're just going to open up the space. So I just like to imagine all of our guides, our healers, our helpers, our people, our energetic beings that support us. We'll just take a moment just to invite them in. And again, if you use angels or, I'm like blanking on all the things, there's, healing spirit, the universe, whatever is your flavor of what you consider the energy, the unseen energies that hold you, the unseen energies that support you and clear you and hold you. And if you've never had an experience of that, then just know you do have a healing team. Everyone does. Everyone comes in with an energetic support team, and I truly believe that. And if that's not your belief system, then, you know, call in what is working for you, whatever it is that feels that, like that God presence, whatever it is that you call as the thing that holds you. Okay, so I just imagine them as my healing and support team, and they're the ones that are here with me, and they help me to be able to do these clearings with people, and yeah, I wonder who else can help you and support you. So we call that energy, and we just feel that. I like to imagine everyone who's in the field who's going to watch this at another time, who's everybody that's here live. Yeah, there we go. And everyone that's just going to be touched by the ripples of what this clearing affects. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, so a lot of people, the people that are watching this, I want to acknowledge the fact that your changing will change other people. Yeah, there you go. So we're acknowledging that right now, that whatever work you're doing right now, you're affecting more people around you than you probably realize. Okay, awesome. So we just say what's in here. So then we just juice it up. So I feel the energy kind of a little low today. We're going to just kind of pump the energy up a little bit. There we go. So we'll turn it up for me. And this is a big topic. Like I said, it's a big topic that I don't feel like I have gone all the way through yet, but because I was a little scared to do this one, it felt like, all right, we're going to do it. So yeah, we invite our guides, our healers, our helpers, and we just imagine them taking off all of the junk, the first layers of the junk that's ready to come off of us. I like to imagine it just coming off my body, off of my energy field, mostly off my body, especially in the solar plexus and belly. Especially women have a tendency to hold a lot of that. It's like we put armor and padding on the front part of our body so no one can see all of the front part of our body. There we go. And then clearing out from the heart. Yeah. And allowing just at this moment, for whatever level feels good for you, allowing people to see and feel your heart. I'm going to let you guys see and feel my heart and my intentions behind this. There we go. Good. Good. And again, you know, this is effortless. I mean, you're hanging out, you're being present with this energy, but to be honest, like, you invite in your guides, you invite in your healing team, and they do the work. They're not, you know, it's not you efforting to do these pieces. Good. So just take deep breath, let it out with a sigh. And like I said, we'll get to what we can in this free clearing. Normally these type of clearings, you know, I charge money for, and we go really deep in with your particular guides, and or you go into one of my clearing classes. So it's like a free clearing. The buy-in is basically your time and attention, but knowing there is more that's possible in this space when you have an actual monetary buy-in, a sacrifice. Okay? Okay, good. So we just feel that softness. There we go. All right. So, so the first thing we're going to bring up too is really that fear of being judged. And all the places that we fear being judged for who we be in the world, and for the physical things of our body, what's going to do physical first. So just imagine that we have a big fire, you know, or again, if you use the Access Consciousness clearing statement or some other kind of woo clearing statement, just clear it out that way. Okay, so everywhere that you take and everywhere that you fear being judged, are you willing to let it go now? We just drop it in the fire. Yeah, this one actually doesn't feel like fire. So we're going to drop it into like this big dissolving pool. So imagine everything that you're going to drop. Imagine it's like a piece of salt. and we're going to drop it into water. Okay, and then it's just going to dissolve out. So some of it's going to take a little longer than others to pop, but just imagine just every little piece that we're going to do, it's like a piece of salt, and you're going to drop it into water and just let it disappear. Okay, so everywhere you fear being judged for who you be in the world and who you're showing up with, go ahead and just take that piece, drop it in the water. And everywhere that you've judged other people for stuff you don't like about yourself, just take that piece, drop it in the water. And if it feels like it's coming from a certain part of your body, again, it's just like a big pool of water, and everyone is dropping in little pieces. You know, and it's gonna, this is a big, big water thing, so it's gonna take and just dissolve everything with total ease. Okay, so everywhere, you see here, everywhere that you've projected your thoughts or feelings or your judgments of yourself in someone else's head to feed back to you, are you willing to give up that little game and stop actually doing that, you know, and at least acknowledge it when you do it? Okay, there we go. So then we just take that, put it in the water. Thank you. I give up the game of projecting my thoughts and feelings into other people's heads to reflect back at me. There you go. And I'll acknowledge, I agree that I'll acknowledge when I do it, at least just to myself, I'll acknowledge that I did that. And it can be really humbling. I want to admit the fact that that is really humbling stuff, and you're like, whoops, I just gave you the best ammunition to take me out with, you know? And sometimes, again, the trap becomes here is that when you're being seen, or when you're like expanding your energy out and being bigger in the world, there's sometimes some self-sabotage little blocks along the way where you'll give a thought or feeling, or you'll do something in particular that'll be outside of your comfort zone or outside of it, as an excuse to be able to be like, see, I shouldn't have done that. See, I shouldn't have been seen here. I was just going to be judged anyway. Or they rejected me again. And there's a place where it becomes like a way to keep proving to yourself that it's not safe to be seen. And I want to just admit that, because that's kind of the game I've been playing for years too. And, you know, just see it and go, you know, what else is possible? What else can we change here? How else can we show up that would be a little different? Okay. Yeah, so that's, again, as we acknowledge the games that we play, like, there's a huge amount of energy that shifts that doesn't even require us doing anything on the energetic level. It's like when you say the thing, or say the thing that you are thinking in your head or doing subconsciously, and you bring it to the light, it shifts, it changes. Like, you can't not know. You know, that's the thing, is like, if many people just run around, including me, we run around in this super, you know, calling an axis, but like with this blanket over our head, wondering why we're stumbling around blind. And it's because of the fact that, like, to be revealed, to let this be seen, is terrifying, and it's exhilarating, because when you are being seen for who you be in the world, and you're being seen and acknowledged, you are an inspiration. And again, one of the my Facebook friends, right before I got on this call today, sent me a private message saying what an inspiration I am to her. And she just, like, again, I was almost at the point of getting teary-eyed over, because I'm just like, that's all I've wanted to be. That's all I wanted to be, is just to show up and be an inspiration. But you can't go be inspiring just to, like, be inspiring. You know, it's not like, today I'm going to be an inspiration. It's, no, you can't do that. Or at least if you can, I haven't figured it out yet. But, like, it's just, what becomes how you become inspiring is just by doing what you do in the world, whatever that is, and allowing, like, other people to see you doing it. You know, allowing people to see what you're doing, even if you mess up, even if you're like me and you have no bra on and whatever. Like, again, the judgment that come from that, they're not about me. No, they're really not. There's especially people that judge you for the things, you know, a lot of people will have judgments about you about things that they really want for themselves. So it's like, are you willing to be that person? Are you willing to be that person that triggers the crap out of everybody else? You know, even if it's kind of ouchy. Okay, good. It feels a little lighter now. Yeah, feel free to share how this is going for you in the chat and comments. So we're ready to go to the next piece? Okay, good. Because our guides and helpers help, well, like they do a lot of the work while we're just talking and connecting. Okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, so the past life stuff. All right. Oh, so much energy on that one. I even just mentioned it. All right. So we're going to see what we can clear on the past life stuff. Like I said, when you work with me in a private session, we go in directly into, we don't have to go into all the past life stuff. I can track a little bit better than when I'm doing it at a bigger group. But we're just going to go into the layers of past life stuff that everyone has basically in common. Okay, there we go. So that's what the adjustment is. Everywhere that you've allowed some sort of energy from the past to actually affect your present and your future, are you willing to let that go now? Okay, good. Destroy and uncreate all of that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the past life stuff too, there's a few people that I'm tracking. They have some contracts and some things that they are not complete with, but they're not ready to let those go. So the people that are the people that are complete? Okay, yes. So there's a lot of people here that I'm tracking their energy wise that are complete with these particular contracts. And so the ones that are not complete, again, you just ask yourself, ask your guides, like, am I complete with the contracts that I had from previous lifetimes to killed basically for being seen as I am? And if you get a light, you know, get yes, that you're complete, then yes, you can continue on. And if you get a no, just, you know, like I said, do that work, do the work of the energetic work to be able to get that worked out. Because again, we can't change anything that you don't actually want to change. Okay? And there's a lot of people that have a point of view that you have to like finish those sacred contracts before you can get rid of them. And so again, we don't mess with that. If that's where your belief system lies, then do it. Do the work of completing those sacred contracts. I totally believe that. And so for the people that actually are done with the sacred contracts, they're done with that particular realm of it, or even a layer of it, we're just going to imagine all of the contracts, all of the vows, all of the oaths from other lifetimes, everything that we have, just like, I'm imagining it like this big paperwork. It's almost like a gigantic divorce papers full of all these contracts that you've had from other lifetimes to be able to not show up as you and not be seen as who you be in the world. And we're just going to take those, and we're going to take and just thank them. Just put my hand on all the papers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, all the way down. Yes, thank you for what you've done. Now we just take those and we, again, open up. We've got our water and now we've got our fire. So that fire, and just take and just allow those to go up in flames like they're covered in kerosene. There we go. And pulling out all of the threads from the past life stuff that have carried into this lifetime. There we go. So again, we're just unraveling it like a blanket, you know, like a woven blanket in the tapestry. And we're going to pull out those pieces that are ready to go. All those times. There we go. Yeah, good. We pull those out, all the threads. So if you just imagine too, imagine those threads, those things that keep coming up, the same ones. I'm not worthy, I'm not whatever, like whatever the actual words are, the ones that have been there. Like I can see for me, there is one that, what is it? I can't be seen as I am without a partner or a man to support me. That one's a big one. That's a thread that's been throughout my lifetime. So we're just going to pull that one because it's ready to go. And just toss it in the fire. And again, this is not a cognitive process. So if you're trying to get it with your brain, sorry, that's it's not a cognitive process. But we just pull those, just those little threads, all those little pieces that are ready to go. We're just going to let our guides just take a minute here and let our guides take it. And again, I can kind of feel them sweeping that off of me. So pulling up those threads from the past life. And the one especially, we'll add this to the field of the everywhere that you've been killed in a past lifetime. For being seen as who you are, who you be in the world. For being seen, for being visible, for being caught doing stuff that you knew already that you didn't want to do, or stuff being caught doing stuff that's magical like this. You know, I have plenty of lifetimes where I was, you know, killed when I first started waking up to my shamanic gift, and so the gifts I had there, it was literally like 99 ways to die. I could not. Every time I would go into shamanic space, I'd be like, oh, now I was eaten by this, and now I was, you know, like beheaded, and throats and collars, and just like, it was crazy. It makes me laugh now to think about like just how many lifetimes I got killed for doing what I'm doing now, basically, you know, or some sort of version of this type of thing, you know, like, and now it makes me laugh that like I'll still have these moments, like especially around my throat, where I'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't say that, or oh my gosh, I can't show this, and the really weird, this big opening of me doing these clearings that I normally just do for private sessions on the internet, oh my gosh, into the wild of not knowing who's gonna be on this page, it's pretty scary stuff. And also, what's the worst that can happen? Someone doesn't like my Facebook page, they comment on it, they get me banned from Facebook. I mean, it doesn't, like, again, this is, what's the worst thing that can happen? Like, now, you know? And I can go, like, maybe I'll lose my house. No, like, again, like, I keep going, like, we go to the, usually what it comes down when you ask the question of what's the worst thing that can happen, usually the answer goes to, like, and then you die, you could be killed for this or something. And so, knowing that, like, that usually springs from past life stuff, and so just clear that. We just go, alright, so everywhere that I've made that a certainty, you know, that I'm gonna die if I give my gifts, you know, I'm willing to give that up now. I'm willing to actually just like take that off, take those, you know, those death sentences basically off. Burn it in the fire. Thank you, no thank you. We live in totally different times. You know, I'm doing what I consider very witchy, amazing, big space work, you know, energetic work. I'm doing it on the internet right now. Like, again, this is, you know, to other people, even some spiritual people would be appalled by the fact that I'm sharing this as brightly and bigly as bigly, I like that word, big as I am. And it's, you know what, that's their work to do. You know, my guides, my helpers, my being is a yes. It's a yes to sharing this. It's yes to showing up as I am in the world. And so that's my question for you. Where's your yes? How are you willing to show up? Okay, good. Are we almost done? Okay. Still need a couple more minutes on our past clearing. So anything coming up in the past thing, Amanda, do you want to add anything? Anything coming up for your past, or anything that I can sense in our field that needs to be cleared too? From the past, or fear of being judged. Yeah, more fear of being judged too. Yeah, like I said, come back to that question. I mean, it sounds like kind of a negative question to be like, what's the worst that can happen? But to be honest, like, get it out. Sit down with a friend sometime and just be like, all right, here are all the things I want to do, and here is all the places that my head tells me to go. And then clear yourself, like smudge with some sage or something. Like, I got some sage right here. Smudge with some sage afterwards, or like sit down with a coach, or get a healing session from me, or find something where you can find a safe spot where where you can talk about all of the things that are not being said around or being seen. Oh, being seen as a fraud. Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, so in Access Consciousness, they have a clearing statement called the Fraud Patrol. I don't know if you've been running that one or not. That one, when I first ran that particular Fraud Patrol, I ran it for like every day for a month, and I was not happy. My energy system was not happy with that, and because of the fact of having that running and it being so uncomfortable, I kept doing it. You know, because again, maybe you're not like me. Like again, maybe this whole I was talking to a friend too about, and I'm just going to share about this. Like just like sitting on the couch trying to decide, you know, what I should do. Should I go to Costa Rica? Should I go to this party or something? And I realized that like not a lot of people sit on their couches on Saturday afternoons with their friends talking about possibilities and really these like out of the box things, like so casually, like versus most people, like when you do your things on Saturday, if you just like feel like a normal person, you know, like they don't do what I do. And so running the fact of like running that energy of you are making choices that are totally different than everyone else around you. And so being seen as a fraud is usually the fact of like or being fraudulent is really that whole Fraud Patrol thing. But it's also a place where you know, I see it that as being the like easiest way to invalidate magic is to say it's not true. You know, to invalidate miracles, you know, and like validate magic and miracles that is present nowadays. There is magic, there is miracles. There are people in the world who can actually facilitate that. And it doesn't look like it's ever looked in any other lifetime or any other moment than it is right now. Like I am so blessed to be surrounded by people who bring miraculous change. And I desire deeply to really be one of them. And so I can feel the fact of how that's already true, and that little bump of like, are you a fraud? I think we all hear it until you just finally get the fact that like what you do matters. And I feel like, you know, a lot of times the Fraud Patrol will start to be invalidated when you see actual real results. Now, I just want to note that like real results is what I mean by the fact of like something real in this planet right now. And so, you know, one of my newest clients who signed up, she signed up for my 40-day clearing course. And the moment she signed up, within like 10 minutes, I had sent her a message like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited you're going to be in my course. And within 10 minutes, she had a brand new client that came out of the blue. Like, that was like, you know, she signed up for my course, she got a new client. And that to me was like, that's a real world result. That is a real world result of the fact of like her saying yes to this magical, unbelievable, kind of an unknown thing. Again, brought in something that is a real world result. And so that to me is where the fraud thing starts to unravel, is when you're actually consciously tracking where are you doing one thing and it's having an effect over here. You know, even if it's just I walk in the room and all of a sudden people are smiling more, that means you have an energy that makes people smile. You know? And so, you know, that whole looking for where you're a fraud or where the places are that you can't be seen because people are going to call you a fraud or whatever, stop. I guess the main thing, stop making that significant. There's going to be tons of people out there in the world who don't believe or can't receive what you're giving, but there are people out there that are just ready for you. Okay, so yeah, she's saying she ran. Oh, and the one that I'm going to go to prison, that's interesting. So that, I'll just bring that one up too. So that clearing, we're clearing the energy around I'm going to get arrested, for doing this, I'm going to go to prison and get locked up, incarcerated. Yeah, there we go. The authority figures are going to catch me if I'm doing this. Again, those are like old ties. They feel like way old stuff, Nazi stuff, you know, what's the flavor? KGB, Nazi, like regime kind of things. And I can just feel the fact of like, that's all old stuff. Is that true for your reality right now? Is it true here? So we just clear that, allow it to move. You know, again, coming back to like, is this true for me right now? You know, yes, of course, there's always that chance that someone's going to knock on your door and say, hey, I saw you on the internet and I'm here to arrest you. You know, I'd be really curious. I would probably like do a Facebook Live from that because I would be so amazed by the fact that like, that would be awesome in some sort of respect, because it would just be like, wow, you found me on the internet? That's awesome. So I wouldn't say, you know, like again, to me, being scared of these unknown things or this like fear of getting arrested. I had another one too. One of my clients had mentioned that if she gets caught doing this type of spiritual work, they're going to take her kids away. So that was a big one too. I mean, like I know that I had fears like that when my son was younger, and I want to say, is that true for you? You know, and if there's a place that's actually feeling true for you, actually there's like an actual real something that feels true for you, honor that. You know, but if there's a place that says maybe that's not true, maybe I could be magical in the world, maybe I could offer my healing gifts even if they are from the unseen, you know, like that's a place that I want to say, you know, like really tap into what's true for you, because there's plenty of people out there that want what you have and are waiting for you to give your gifts. Okay, good. So we're clear now? Okay, good. So it feels like this is coming to a complete. And so I'm going to go ahead and just like, we're going to close the energy a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to offer a few tools before I tell you about my class here. And we just call and say thank you for all the clearing and healing. Good. Okay, so the tools I'm going to offer for this particular thing is, number one, whatever sticks on you is usually like, you know, if someone says judgment or says something about you being seen, and it sticks or it hurts, it's because you believe it. It's because you believe it. So things that don't hurt are the things that you know are not true. Like if somebody was like, oh my gosh, Jamie, you are so short. You're so tiny, minuscule. I can't even, like, you're like a grain of salt or something. Like, I want to say, like, I would just laugh because I'm 6'2". I weigh like 270 pounds. I'm huge. I'm big. And my energy's big. I'm not small at all. So people consult me all day long or, you know, about being short, and I would just be like, what are you talking about? So find those things for yourself, like those places where, like, whatever the people are saying to you or wherever you're saying to yourself, if you can actually really call yourself on your own BS, it does worlds of, you know, just worlds of wonder. I mean, it really does. You know, so again, like every place that you feel unworthy or you feel like you can't be seen or you have to look perfect before you show up. I don't really have that one, obviously. I'm showing up here and just hanging out on my couch, and you know, and I even tell you that, like, when it comes to this course and the things that I'm doing recently, I had to be able to get over fear of being seen for this. I had to say, well, like, this is just what I'm going to call like my couch days. The days where I hang out and I put a little thing over my couch because my couch is a weird, you know, kind of an interesting brown color, and I'm going to look back on these videos, you know, 10 years from now, or even just a couple years from now, and say, oh my gosh, how silly was I to just sit on my couch and talk to people on the internet, even when they're not listening. And it's like, that is what's alive for me right now. Like being here with you is what's alive for me now. And if you've made it this far, like 45 minutes into this, this might be a spot that like you're ready to open up more to. And so I want to invite the fact that like I'm just showing up, doing the best I can, and what, is that true for you? Are you showing up and doing the best that you can? And if not, how can you turn that up? How can you show up just a little bit? So, and then my next tool is for that, yeah, so that's my thing. If it's sticking on you, it's something you believe, so are you willing to let go of your own beliefs? And just try it out, And again, have like, my mentor Melissa Seaman and I talk about like bringing your C game. Like, are you willing to have a couch phase? Are you willing to have a phase where you sit in front of your couch and look, with the not best lighting and the not best whatever, and have a time where you're being you and showing up? All of my friends know that like 90% of the time I don't wear makeup, and about 50% of the time I don't wear a bra, and I wear flip-flops 90% of the time too. So it's like, in that way, the way I show up physically sometimes may not be what other people think is awesome. And that's a place that like, it's a place where I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm showing up and being authentic and showing you my heart, giving my gifts for you, and allowing you to feel me. So, okay, so enough about that. So the final last few steps to be able to do this anyway, which is my tools to how to do it anyway, is number one, set a bigger goal than can be had from just what you're doing, which is like this example, like for my course, I set a bigger goal and to have a certain things, and so it requires me to take and start showing up and really letting people know who I am, showing them how I do the clearings that we do, and to be seen in that, and knowing the fact that like there might be a little contraction every time that you're seen, especially when you're in a place where you're uncomfortable. There might be a contraction afterwards, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So it's just the fact of like going from that expansion to contraction and then expansion again. Don't just keep getting contracted. So this morning I was sitting there and laying in bed going, oh my gosh, my course starts in 2 days. Oh, what should I do? Thinking I got some practical things to do, and there was this like deeper desire underneath there just to show up today and like give you guys a long blast out clearing and being present with you. And so that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go do some laundry. And, like, it's what we do. There's a place where this fear of being seen will stop you from living your life unless you just start facing it, start looking at it, and just go, okay, what's the worst that can happen? And are willing to do it anyway. So, and then number one is setting a bigger goal than you're expecting. Number two is having kindness for yourself, allowing yourself to have what I call like a couch phase, a phase where you're just showing up anyway, showing up imperfectly, showing up and doing whatever it is that you want to do. And then number three is having support, having in your practice of doing this. So making it a practice of showing up and calling in for support. I have a mastermind. I have a group of clients that I'm about to serve for this course. I have another group I'm in that's like a mastermind. I have friends I can text. I have coaches, and it's like I have a huge support system that I've been cultivating. And if you don't have that, see what you can do to create. Even just having one friend who has your back, who says, oh my gosh, look what you're creating. Like, how amazing you did that. And someone who knows that your stepping out into the world actually affects things. And again, if you don't have that, you have me. Like, you've been connected to me, and just let me know how I can support and celebrate you, because that's one of my favorite things to do in the world, is to celebrate people stepping out into the things that are uncomfortable for them and just doing it anyway. Okay. So yes, my recap of my tools here, what you need to do for doing it anyway. Set a bigger goal than you can have with what you're doing right now. Have kindness for yourself and allow yourself to have that imperfect action, and then get support and practice. Okay. So that's our clearing for today, and I just want to share with a little bit about my class that's coming up on Monday. So I have a few spots still left for this, and like again, we might promote it a little longer and keep the doors open, but really I'd love anyone that's ready to dive into this to jump in on Monday and come join us. So it's called Clearing Your Core Blocks in 40 Days, and we're going to do clearings kind of similar to the energy that we did earlier, which is basically we set the space and we open it up, and then we bring up the energy and we clear it out, and then we juice up and go on with our days. And so and we'll do them in about 20-minute things. So anyways, what you get with this particular course is really get 40 days of doing clearings with me, a small Facebook group so you can have contact with me and ask any of the questions, all the things that you need to get cleared along the way. And we have these hour-long clearings on Saturday, which is normally what's going to happen on Saturday at noon, which is clearing and small group coaching, and it's done via Zoom so that you can actually have a conversation with me with the places that you're actually blocked at. Now, I'm charging $399 for this course, and I usually charge $250 an hour to be able to work with me if people are working on long extended things. So I usually do about 3-month packages. Sometimes I'll do one-off sessions with people just if they need a little hit of a clearing. And so I do have private session work available if you're interested in doing a one-off session with me. But most of the time, this type of work is really done best in the space where you keep having to show up. You have to keep showing up for this particular thing. So the 40 days clearings, again, if the time doesn't work for you, you can get the juice anytime that you sit down and do it. And so, yeah, like I said, it's as cheap as it's going to ever be for the course. And there's already people seeing amazing shifts just from signing up for it. So I adore you guys, and if you have any questions about it, I'm going to put the comments, or put the link to my course in the comments. And if there's anything about this clearing that really resonates with you, feel free to share it. I see that Jennifer just shared it. Thank you. Feel free to share this with your friends. Like, to me, the more people who are lit up in the world, really clearing that overwhelming fear of being seen, even if you don't feel like you're an expert at this, trust me, we can make huge movements by being present with this energy and just allowing it to happen. So I adore you. Let me know if I can support you in any way. And yeah, if you're ready for my course, dive right in, and I'm ready to have you join me. So have a great day, guys, and we'll chat soon. Bye.